The Autel Nano Plus has amazing video quality. It is also capable of excellent still images, and a few problems with the raw files when it was first released have been progressively ironed out. In this video I will compare it to the DJI flagship of the Mavic line, the Mavic 3, in terms of photography. I will not go here in depth into the specs of the two drones, as I already treated it in my specific photography analysis of the two models. I will publish a link at the end of this one. I know that most of you want to see some nice pictures, and I'm gonna show you a lot of them later on. But there are some important differences that I will quickly underline. The Nano Plus has a 0.78-inch sensor with a fixed aperture of f1.9 and is capable of shooting photos at a real resolution of 12.5 megapixels. The sensor has the ability to split each pixel into 4 smaller ones to reach a sort of so-called 50 megapixel resolution. The sensor of the Nano Plus has a RYYB color filter, which is supposed to improve the quality of images in high dynamic range and low light situations. The retail price of the Evo Nano Plus is around €900. The Mavic 3 has a much bigger 1/3 of an inch sensor, which is 1.33 inches, with variable aperture from f2.8 to f11. It can shoot photos at a real resolution of 20 megapixels. It also has a dual lens system with a second telephoto lens with a field of view of 15 degrees, equivalent to 162 mm, a half an inch sensor and a fixed aperture of f4.4. The quality is obviously not the same as the main wide-angle camera, but I still find it a very useful tool for close-up images of subjects that we cannot approach, or for very interesting parallax effects with elements in different planes. I will not go into detail about the telephoto lens in this video, as I have done a specific one about it. Click on the link on the screen to watch it. When it was released, the Nano had big issues with the raw files, but the good news is that the JPEG are excellent, especially the 50 megapixel version. Even though I never use JPEG files with any drone or camera, I must admit that the one of the Nano are practically as good as RAW. After a series of firmware upgrades, the RAW files are finally very good, and it's now possible to use either the RAW or the JPEG 50 megapixel, with slight differences in color rendition. Sometimes I prefer one, other times the other. The Nano has a defog option with 3 strength level that can be used both for video and photo. I find it very useful for improving the structure of the sky or to cut through hazy conditions. One thing we notice with the Nano Plus is the astonishing amount of detail, much more than in any other drone I've used. Several users argue that there is too much of it, and the still images look over-sharpened. In my opinion, in many cases I find the amount of detail of the Nano very useful, especially for vegetation or in cloudy or hazy days. I do agree that in some cases it is a bit too much, especially in close-up of architectural features. But it is quite easy to reduce the detail in post-production, while it cannot be added if it is not there. In easy light conditions, the photos taken with the Nano are excellent. The structure of the sky stands out thanks to the defog tool. In some cases the colors might look a bit aggressive, especially the green, although it is quite easy to tame them in post-processing. In good light, the photos taken with the Mavic 3 have organic, natural colors. There is not the same wow factor as with the Nano Plus. The image is not in your face, the amount of detail is correct, the results are consistently good, and there is not a lot of post-processing needed. Very polite image and very professional job. The higher true resolution of 20 megapixels leaves more room for cropping and reframing. As usual, you will find a link about these two drones and all the gear I use in the description below. By purchasing through these links, I receive a small, tiny commission that really helps the channel. Please give us a thumb up if you find this video interesting. Let's tilt the camera down to take the sky out of the equation and concentrate more on detail. Once again, the results with both models are excellent. And again, we notice more detail, may be too much for some users, with the Nano, and slightly more natural colors with the Mavic 3. But I'm not going to comment too much, as it's your opinion that I'm interested in. So let me know in a comment below what you think about these images. This is an area where drones used to really struggle. Until a few years ago I used to say that with a drone I would never shoot anywhere south, as the results when shooting in the direction of the sun were a total disaster. As you can see, in these conditions these two models perform incredibly well, even with the full sun inside the frame. Even better than some full-frame cameras, and this is a fantastic accomplishment. The choice is mostly a matter of personal taste, although I have the impression that the Nano Plus retains just a touch of extra information in the shadows, probably due to the RYYB filter. This is astonishing, considering the much bigger sensor of the Mavic 3. In both models, even with the sun in the frame, there are no nasty flares, chromatic aberration or loss of detail in saturation. On the other hand, as usual, the Mavic 3 delivers consistent results and colors in every single shot. The Nano Plus performs incredibly well in low light, to the point that in my analysis of footage with this drone, many users would not believe that the clips were shot at night. For night footage or photo, this drone comes from another galaxy, probably due to the combination of the RYYB filter and the f1.9 aperture. The Nano Plus destroys any other drone and also many full-frame cameras. In post-processing, it is possible to make these images look as if they were shot in full day. But believe me, it was pitch dark. Please welcome the King of the Night. I always found that low light footage and photo are the weak point of the Mavic 3. The images are half decent at best, frankly nothing to write home about. There is a bit of noise, although quite contained, and the shadows contain very little information. Frankly, it cannot even remotely compete with the Nano Plus. In my opinion, the Nano Plus is an excellent tool for professional or prosumer videographer or photographers who already own a Mavic 3. To be used at night and in urban situations, thanks to the more relaxed regulations. I'm not taking into account reliability, as under this point of view no other manufacturer can compete with DJI, so be ready for a good deal of frustration with the Nano Plus, but this is a topic for another video. Click on these links to watch my in-depth analysis of the photo quality of those two drones, and don't forget to hit the like button if you find this video interesting. Thank you.